Walls of a Four Seasons lost. In Austin, I stalled, paused. My eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving the grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you conceive.
Yes, truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday edition. We're coming to you today from Ned's Starlight Lounge, one of my favorite places to eat. And of course, today is Wednesday, which means that it is $1.50 wings, individual, of course, not for a pack, but $1.50 each. You can eat all the wings you want. And of course, I've got some coming up. Got me some six wings along with some onion rings. And if you've ever had Ned's dry rub onion rings, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we'd like to take this time to thank my boy Ned for letting me come out. And we're enjoying today. And by the way, we're watching the OU Texas A&M game. And remember, if OU wins, let me stick up the bracket here real quick. If OU wins, they automatically play Saturday. If they lose to A&M, then they have to play again. But if they win today, then they are off until Saturday, which is great because you get your pitcher's rest, you'll be ready to go, and it'll be the first game in the national championship round. And, of course, the game later on will be Ole Miss and Arkansas playing against each other again. Ole Miss dispatched Arkansas earlier, and so now they're coming back to play again. So, and then they played each other in the SEC, so they know each other really well. It's kind of like OU. They were playing Texas. They know Texas really well, but instead, remember, A&M used to be in the Big 12, and they switched out. So, OU up 4-0 in the bottom of the fourth with the runner on and one out. So, OU doing what they needed to do to pursue. And, you know, we had talked about it earlier about how OU has really – what OU did is they hit their stride right in the right spot. It's about the team being hot. It's in football, it's in basketball, it's in baseball, it's in soccer. It's irrelevant. Whatever sport you are, if you hit your stride and you're hot at the right time, that's what matters. And everything came together for OU at the right time, and they're making the most of their opportunity. So we're excited about the Sooners winning up 4-0 in the bottom of the third, one out and a runner on first. So good luck to the Sooners, and let's hope they win. And yes, I am an OSU Cowboy, but that's irrelevant. We do want the Sooners to win. I only want them to lose when they play us. When they play us, I want to kick their butts, but when they don't play us, I want them to win because I am for the state of Oklahoma. So that being said, we'll keep you updated as we go through the hour that we'll be with you guys, talking about the Sooners and giving you updates. And the reason why I know that, it's right there in front of me, and then, of course, Johnson's behind me with that ugly red. He just turned around. See that dude right there with that ugly red hat on? Every time I look at that OU logo, I want to throw up. But I'm not going to because I'm trying to be a good boy today. I'm trying to be supportive of the Sooners. That's what I'm trying to do. So anyway, let's get into the rest of the sports world. And let's talk about Deshaun Watson. Man, I just don't see how there's any way that he's not suspended for a complete year. I thought it would be 8 games. That's kind of what I thought based on when it was the first few. I thought, he gets suspended for, 2 to 4 games. Then it was 22. Then it was 24. Now there's up to 66 women that we know that he's done this with. And like I was saying yesterday, I know there has to be some smoke there, but he's not criminally charged, and those 4 women who decided not to press charges, whatever they want to go through it. But in the end, you're still going to get paid. He's not going to go to jail. Nothing's going to happen. Yeah, if he's convicted, you're going to get some money. I mean, are you wanting more money? Is that what you're saying? Whatever the settlement wasn't enough for you. If that's what you're saying, you're going after more money. I don't really understand what the thought process is behind the civil lawsuit versus the regular one. So, but Deshaun Watson will probably miss up to a year, and I believe that the NFL just said, hey, look, get this done, settle this out of court, whatever, spend the money, let's go so we can move on. And then, of course, those last 4 women said no. And so that's the end of that. But, I mean, dude, I don't know what you're thinking. You're an NFL player. I don't get some of how these guys think. I mean, you can have pretty much whatever woman you want for the most part. Why you want to go down this road. And then, of course, the Houston, Texans allowing this to go on and getting women for you. It's just an absolute mess and a black eye for the NFL, but I'm sure they're going to get it all worked out. But at the same time, it just is frustrating for me as a fan, as a football fan, not being able to see what's actually going to happen this year with the Browns. And then on the other side of the Browns situation is, what do you do with Baker now? You've held on to him, and I believe, and I said this a few weeks ago, that I think the Browns were secretly holding on to Baker for the simple fact that they think that if Deshaun is gone for the year, you still have Baker. Because Baker is better than Jacoby Brissett. I'm not a Baker fan. You guys know that if you've listened to my live streams. You know I'm not a Baker fan. But at the same time, I do understand what's going on with that. And so that's kind of frustrating for me. So, but anyway, let's take this opportunity to give you some more information about where I'm at. Once again, I'm at Ned's Starlight Lounge. And for those of you all who don't know where that is, that's 7301 North May. It's basically just north of 63rd, just south, excuse me, just south of, I believe that's Grand right there. And so anyway, by all means, you need to come check out my boy. And, their food, and like my guy Drew Henthorne, he and I were talking about the other day. He came in, he got some chicken, and then he came back in with the family the next night to get more chicken. Then he turns around and he comes back again to get for Sunday for their brunch. And by the way, here are their hours. If you haven't noticed already, they're closed on Mondays. Tuesdays, they open from 11 to 12. Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays, they are open till 2 a.m. But they open on Saturdays and Sundays at 10:30. And, of course, 10:30 is just brunch. And if you haven't eaten there, Drew and I were laughing because if you've never had their chicken fried steak with the egg on it, oh, my God, you've got to come check it out. And we're looking up here right now. OU has runners on first and third, where in the bottom of the third looks like they're going to score again. That's what it's looking like. 2 outs. Is that what it is, Johnson? It's 2 outs. I've got, the OU dude behind me giving me all the updates. He wants to make sure that this great OSU person wants to make sure that I'm updated on what's happening in the world of OU Sooner land. Okay, A&M gets out of the inning. OU still up 4-0 after 3. 5 hits and 1 error for Texas A&M. So anyway, back to my Baker thing. I think that the Browns secretly have wanted to keep him around for this one specific reason. I think that they thought the opportunity or chances for Baker to be, or for Deshaun to be out for a full year were great. The question is, what do you do if you're Baker? I mean, you're kind of caught in the middle because if they tell you you have to show up for training camp with the new bargaining agreement, you got to show up or it's going to cost you money. So do you want to give up part of your $18, $19 million or you want to go play? Now, to me, I think, Baker, you swallow your pride. You go in there, you play, you prove everybody that last year I played hurt, and we all agree that you played hurt. I said that Baker should not play. You should go ahead and have surgery, but he did not do that. And it cost him. It cost him a bunch of money, but at the same time, this may be a blessing in disguise for Baker, and then I hope that it works out for him. And I see we're joined by my boy Drew Henthorne of HuskerDrewPicks.com. What's up, my brother?
How we doing, my friend?
Doing
I'm
good,
finally
man.
back, man. It's good to be back.
Good to be back, man. I'll be glad when you get that house sold, man, and get out
I
of
tell
Omaha,
you what,
Nebraska.
man. Hey, if you don't have to move, don't. So I'll just say that. We'll
Hey,
just leave it at that.
by the way, how many Sooner fans did you let stay at the house while you were up there, man?
You can count them on one hand.
That means zero.
Yeah. And I just got a phone call that they're coming in town because they're already counting this as a win, 4-0 in the third inning. So
Yeah. Look at here, Drew. You can't see this. Here are those wings I was telling y'all about. I'm gonna stick those over there, and then oh my God, and here are these onion rings with the sauce. Drew, if you didn't remember, I'm at
and
Ned's
I
right
heard
now.
I heard you talking
I'm
about
at
the chicken
Ned's,
fried
brother.
steak. No, I heard you talking about the chicken fried steak, and it's already sounding good.
Yes, sir. So people, y'all gonna have to forgive me, but I know it's rude or whatever. People say you're not supposed to eat on camera. I don't really care. I'm gonna enjoy these wings. Thank you, Nettie. That's him walking back there on the phone. So hopefully we'll get him on. What do you think about my take that I was talking about Baker and the Browns and Deshaun for suspended for a year?
Man, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's an opportunity. He needs to make turn lemons into lemonade. This is an opportunity for him to show himself and make some money. I mean, he can prove the Browns wrong. Go out there and play, a season. Hopefully, it's a season. If it's not, then I think it's gonna be. I don't think there's any way that Deshaun Watson doesn't get a 1-year suspension, but I'll be shocked. But even if it's not, then he can move himself up as trade bait and get to a contender maybe or somewhere where he's wanted.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's no way that Baker doesn't, that Deshaun doesn't get set for a year. I mean, especially like I was saying earlier, the last two came up, so now he's at 24. And then only 20 of the 24 people of women settled out of court for whatever settlement, which I'm sure he had. I heard he had offered $100,000 the
Right.
first time around. Clearly, that wasn't
Well,
enough.
well, I don't. I think that's already been adjudicated as far as the NFL is concerned. I think now they're going to look at all the extracurricular stuff that's come out since that. You know what I mean? I mean, what was known? What did he say? Did he lie? All that stuff is probably going on behind closed doors.
I'm pretty sure he lied, Drew.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, I
pretty
don't
sure he
think there's
lied.
any doubt. I mean, I'm not one to call someone a liar without seeing it, but hey, it sure seems like it. Looks like a duck, walks like a duck, talks
Talks
like
like
a
a
duck.
duck,
Probably
yeah.
a duck.
Oh, I agree 100%. But that's the problem is most guys do not admit to the things at first. Like I talked about Pete Rose yesterday. If he'd have came out and showed attrition and actually admitted what he had did in the very beginning, he would be in the Hall of Fame. There's no question to me about it. And they gave him a chance. And the look on, I think it was Bart Giamatti. Wasn't he the commissioner back then when that happened?
So,
And the look on his face when Pete wouldn't come clean, and it's like that old deal. If you're married and your wife asks you a question and she's looking at you, she knows the answer. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and just fess up. So, but anyway, I think the Baker should play. Now remember, Drew, he's kind of he didn't really have a choice really, because if the Browns say you have to report, you got to report or lose money.
I mean, he's still under contract, and he's already lost enough money. I mean, what else is he going to do? I mean, like I said, he needs to use it as a proving ground.
Right.
And I agree with you. He shouldn't have been playing last year. They weren't going to win the Super Bowl, and basically he just knocked a year off his career by playing hurt. And so I don't know. I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan either.
No, I'm not. I'm not a Baker fan. I don't really like the guy, but I mean, him as a player, I don't mind so much. But I was arguing with the Sooner fan the other day, or about 3 months ago. He was trying to tell me that Baker's better than Patrick Mahomes, and I told him, I said if Patrick Mahomes was at OU,
better at what? Better at football?
Football. I told him, I said if Patrick Mahomes played for the University of Oklahoma with Bob Stoops and Lincoln Riley as his offensive coordinator, OU would have won the national title easily. With all the talent he had, offensive line, running backs, wide receivers, please. I said, dude, you're wasted. But, he's one of those loyalists, and, he doesn't.
Well, I mean, if you remember that game, when they went head-to-head, it was like a damn basketball game. What was it, 65-60 or something like that night in Lubbock?
I know you had the ball last.
Yeah.
Well, some of the throws he made.
Good old Big 12 track meet.
That's what it was. Old school days.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. Okay, well, let's get on to the draft, brother.
Okay. Let's do that.
Jabari said
Thunder taking Chet.
Jabari said he does not want to play for Orlando. He wants to play for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. I think so because I read something the other day that Orlando is weighing his options now because.
Well, but if you're Orlando and that guy says that he doesn't want to play for you, and then the next guy, if you got a guy on your team that says that guy you don't want him, so now where do you go? Do you go if you're Orlando? Do you trade that pick? Do you take Vaccaro? What do you do?
Well, I thought about that, but Drew, if I'm a GM, I don't want a kid. I don't want somebody to come play for me who doesn't want to play for me. If you don't want to play with me, okay, cool. Because remember, more guys doing it. Remember, Eli Manning said that I do not want to go to San Diego. He ended up with the Giants. So, do you want to draft somebody who doesn't want to play for you? And my answer is no. So, if you don't want Chet, and Jabari doesn't want to play for you,
now, what is his reasoning behind not wanting to play for Orlando? Is it just because he doesn't think they have a good young nucleus? He doesn't like the city? He doesn't like the coach? I mean,
his point was that Josh Giddey and SGA play downhill. So, which they do, which means that's going to give him more opportunity to shoot the three, which he shot, 43% or whatever from three. So he's a great spot-up shooter. So it's going to give him a better chance to score more points.
Cole Anthony can play downhill.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you got Cole Anthony. Then what you got?
You got to draft somebody.
No, okay. Well, what the bottom line is, Oklahoma City has more of an upside opportunity for him than does Orlando.
At this moment in time,
yes. So him as a player, he's not looking ahead. He's looking right now. Where can I go that I'm going to be able to my game is going to be the maximum it can be? That's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right.
It just is over Orlando.
Does he start in Orlando?
He starts in Orlando or Oklahoma City, either one.
Okay. I'm not familiar. I need to familiarize myself.
Go watch him play, bro. Go watch him play. He dominated the SEC.
I've seen him play, but I'm just wondering who does Orlando have at his position?
Orlando doesn't have anybody. That's why they want him.
Nobody.
You know, it's just like Oklahoma City. We have Baisley, we have Poku, we have Robinson Earl. I mean, come on now. Those are all very good players, but they're not Jabari. They're not 6'10", athletic, can block shots, can run the floor, can play pick and roll, can handle the rock, will dunk on you, and can block shots.
So let's say that he doesn't want to go to Oklahoma City. Is that who Oklahoma City picks?
Who you talking about, Jabari?
If they take Chet, and does Oklahoma City take Jabari? Or does
Oklahoma City take you want Jabari. Everybody wants Jabari. And I saw this deal the other day that this ranking they had, because more and more people see Chet in his workouts. Right now, it's Jabari, Banchero, then Chet. Because my deal is this with Chet. If you put him at center, who's he going to guard? Embiid? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who's he going to guard? Embiid? Or who's he going to Jokic? I mean, who's he going to guard? Looney?
He's going to struggle to guard anybody for a while.
Okay, but then, Drew, if you put him at the three, he's going to guard Kevin. He's going to guard LeBron. Who's he going to guard?
Guard somebody.
Who's he going to guard?
I mean, he might just be a liability out there.
I think Chet is a project, and my deal with him is he's thin. He doesn't have the size. Now, I got Chet against his first competition, which is Jalen Duren, which Jalen is plays in Memphis. Chet had 9 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks, and fouled out. Against Arkansas, he
got in foul trouble in that Arkansas game. Some bad calls too, but he didn't really play that great. He had a decent second half, but he got some couple weak calls in the first half of that game. Yep. I remember that vividly.
Yep, and he had 11 points, 14 rebounds, 2 blocks in that game.
Not bad.
In that game against Arkansas, it's not bad, but that's not number 1 draft pick. Number 2 draft pick. That's not that against that level of competition, which is what you're going to see in the NBA. I don't want my number 1 overall draft pick.
What did he do against Duke?
Duke, he had 21 points. He had 20 points against Banchero, but remember, Banchero had 20 the first half until he got cramps. Remember, he was just murdering him. and they ended up.
I think that's what you're going to see for a while out of him is he's got to be consistent on the offensive end. He's probably going to get you 15 points just because of his size and kind of a freak of nature to be able to shoot the ball at 7 foot tall. But
see, Drew, that's my problem.
Defensively, he's going to be a liability.
Well, that's my problem in the Oklahoma City offense. Okay, his problem with me in Oklahoma City offense is that we're a half-court offense. We're not a run-and-gun offense. So in the NBA, half-court, who is he going to take off the dribble? In the half-court in a condensed area.
His is going to be the pop and shoot, little fades, little runners. I mean, just because he's probably going to have a mismatch. Someone that's on him is probably going to be 6'7".
Right.
Most likely. He's going to be able to shoot over the top of him.
Hopefully.
I don't know. You wouldn't think that they're going to make somebody, a 6'10", 6'11" guy, come out on the perimeter and try to guard him, because if you do, you're going to be in foul trouble.
Well, it's so funny as Chris Broussard was talking about that. He wants him to be good because the NBA needs a good white player. Because no, this was his reasoning. Because we haven't had one in a while. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, but the ones we do get, and I said, Luka, he's European, but he white, he pretty good. Jokic, he's white, he pretty good.
Luka and Jokic are about as white as it gets.
Yeah, I'm like, they don't count? Or I'm like, they're pretty good, bro. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, they're pretty good.
Did he get laughed off the set?
They laughed a little bit, but the point he was trying to make was he's talking about American superstar. That's what he was talking about, not European.
I got you.
That's what he was really talking about. And, you got J.J. Redick, you got people like that, but nobody has really stepped up and become a superstar. And I agree with you, and you and I talked about that. He reminds me of Porzingis.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's who he reminds me of.
You know what? And he'll be doing great if he's as good as Porzingis.
Yeah. And remember, but Porzingis was a one-year deal.
Yep.
And then he can't stay healthy. And that's the problem with Chet is how he's skinny. Can he be healthy?
Mm-hmm.
He's skinny, Drew.
Can
he stay healthy? And I don't know if he really can. Do you think he really can?
I don't think so, but, I mean, NBA is a different animal than college basketball. I mean, you're playing 4 games a week. You're traveling. You're not sleeping in your own bed. You're not getting coddled. You're expected to go out against the best in the world. So we're going to find out. We'll find out real quick.
Yeah, the guys at the barbershop, they think, they go, Chad is an Oklahoma City type player is what they call him.
That doesn't sound like a compliment.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It was not a compliment at all. And I had to I defended Sam Presti on that deal. I'm like, yeah, no, man. I'm not, by the way.
You just struck the side out. A&M had a man on first and second with no out. Big Boy's been on fire, man. He's been a beast. For OU, their pitcher. Dude, they're playing with so much confidence. I mean, they're going to be tough to beat. Now, I still think that Arkansas is the best team in this tournament, but we're going to find out. Arkansas's got to beat Ole Miss twice. And remember, Ole Miss already beat them already. And Ole Miss has some sticks. I think it's gonna be OU against Ole Miss. That's what I think. In the final. Well, you know what? Oklahoma State fans are welcome to come up, stay at the house if you want to come up. I think you could catch a ride with Mr. Crittenbrink. I think he's coming up. Oh, Chad's Saturday. Coming up. He's gonna come up. I told him he'd probably come up Saturday and then go to the games on Sunday and Monday. At least you get a chance. If you go to the game Sunday, you got a chance to see a national championship if you're an OU fan. And if you lose that Sunday game, at least you got Monday to give it one more shot. Yeah. I think that the way OU's playing, they're going to get their national championship. Hey, you know what? But you never know. What, dude? Everything can turn on a dime. You never know when you get into that championship season starting Saturday night. Can I get a napkin? I'm over at Big Ned's. Actually, Little Ned. Big Ned ain't here today. Little Ned. That's over here. I'm trying to get him on, Drew, but he's too busy. He's over being a restaurant man. He's over being a restaurant. Can I get some more water, sir? Absolutely. Oh, it'd be awful nice of you, man. Sit you down with some onion rings and some chicken fry with no water. No, he already had me water. I just been drinking it. I got you. So you can't see me, but when you go back and look at the show, you'll see that I'm trying not to grub too much because once you start on back to the CWS here. Now you realize Ole Miss has not lost a game in the tournament. They swept their regional, swept the next series, and they're 2-0 in the College World Series.
Yeah,
They are now 6-0
they're on
in the
fire.
tournament.
They're on fire right now. There's no doubt about that. Their bats are really hot. Because let me pull up the bracket here, Drew. I got the bracket up. And when you look at it, Ole Miss, and that's the second time they're playing Arkansas, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they handled them pretty easily the first time around. But, I mean, they are on fire. I mean, they're truly, truly on fire. They started out with Auburn, then they beat Arkansas, now they've got to play Arkansas again. And I believe
it's going to be tough in there. Let me tell you, tonight there is a Omahogs is what they call them because Van Dorn used to be the coach at Nebraska. There will be a ton of Arkansas fans in there tonight, and then a ton of Nebraska fans rooting for Arkansas in there tonight. So don't be surprised if that goes to an elimination tomorrow between those two teams. I'm just telling you.
But you know what, Drew, though? Okay, let's do that.
If it gets to an elimination game, I'll take the Hogs.
By the way, let's do that while we're at it. Let's look at the Drew picks for HuskerDrewPicks.com. You have Arkansas.
Not looking good.
No, plus 110, but
it's early. It's just in the fourth inning.
what what I was going to say is,
pitcher from OU out of there.
all the OU fans were happy because you took Texas A&M the first time.
Oh yeah, I've picked OU yet, and I won't.
You can't do that, man. You can't say that. You can't say that, Drew.
I said it. I'm
you
just
can't
being
do
honest.
that. You can't do that, bro.
Ask me if I've ever picked Duke. No.
No, I know you've never picked Duke. You're not going to pick Duke. We already know that.
No, but that doesn't mean that I can't give them their props. I mean, they're playing lights out. But it's just against my religion to pick OU. So.
But I'm telling you who you're still picking are those Braves. What is the deal with them, man?
Hey, dude, we're 17-3 in June. I mean, 14 over. I mean, if you're betting $100 a game, you're up $1,300 right now in the month of June.
Oh, your boy Randy goes, help your Sooners. It's hard to cheer for them.
I mean, hey, but again, let me revert back. They might be the hottest team in college baseball, and we said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
When they won, they swept the Big 12 tournament. They won their regional, and then they come into this thing hot, and they've gotten a great draw.
Yeah.
What a draw they got! They didn't have to see Tennessee on their side of the bracket because Notre Dame beats them. So you get a Notre Dame team that wasn't even supposed to be there that OU gets to play, and then this A&M team. This is a team that won 9 games in the SEC last year, and they get hot at the end of the year. So, what a great draw they've gotten. But like I said, everything could turn on a dime in a championship series. You never know.
Well, we were talking, Ned and I were talking about that earlier, is that, if OU don't win the Big 12, they're not even in it.
Well, I think they'd have been in it, but I don't think they would have got the draw they got. I think they'd have got – if they didn't win the Big 12 tournament, I think they probably would have got sent to Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Or someplace like that. They wouldn't have got sent to Florida and probably the easiest regional of them all.
Well, like you said that you and I both talked about that we thought OU got a break because of that, because they did not have a regional. And they got sent to Stillwater, that they got an advantage. They got to put in a weak regional. And then, of course, they came right after that.
Very possible that if OU would have gotten a regional, Arkansas probably would have been there.
Would have been there instead of in Stillwater.
Yep. So I think it worked out great.
But let's face it, Drew, we choked against Arkansas,
I hope to see all the Sooner fans here this week. It'd be fun to have everybody in town one last time. So it's a good time.
You keep saying that, but all you're going to do, you said you're going to buy them one beer. One beer.
I mean, I'm still going to hang out with them. They just can't stay in my house. Well, Chad can stay at my house.
Oh, do they, Chad? Because that's your brother. That's your brother. He can stay at your house. Well,
I'll put him out too, Matt. I will put him out if he gets to talking.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, back to it. Okay, let's go through. We got the Braves, 124.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. I look for that game to go over, too. I almost put the over on that. Morton's given up almost 6 runs a game, and then the Giants are on a bullpen game, and that guy's like damn near 6 runs a game, too. So
yeah, he is.
That might be a high-scoring one. That's been a great series so far. Both of them one-run games. So
how about the Stros?
And the Stros are beating up on the Mets right now, so you can go ahead and put that in the
that's a W right there. So right now, look. So right
Hey,
now.
but you know what we got this weekend, Matt? You know what we
Oh
got on
man,
Sunday night baseball
I know. And that,
with Freddie's return to Atlanta.
can you believe that?
The Braves Dodgers. That's going to be a great series this weekend.
I tell you what, though. How about the Lightning? That's going to do that, and we're going to go back to that just a second. How about the
Yep, they're going to
Lightning
even it
tonight?
up tonight. They're going to even it up. That's going to be 2-2. I like the Lightning.
Boy, I tell you what, I like the Lightning too. They finally got in the groove because, man, the Avalanche just they body slammed them. I was like,
Yeah,
God,
they
game
did.
2? Wow. I'm like, you got to. I said, I thought you were the best goalie in the NHL. You gave up 7 goals. I mean, what the heck? He did make some great saves though, but they had pressure on him the whole game. They were lighting him up the whole game.
So I got a good stat for you just to kick back to the College World Series a little bit. You realize that there hasn't been a game in the College World Series decided by less than 4 runs. They're all been
Really? They all been blowouts.
Not win one close game. Every game's been blowout.
So it's either your bats are hot or they're not. That's what it's basically saying, isn't it?
And that's where I say, and I know I keep harping back on it. What happens when it's a close game in the championship series? What happens when it's 3-1, 3-2, going into the 8th? You know, who has the cojones to step up and close one out? Because really nobody's had to do that yet. I think you're going to see tonight. Ole Miss is going to have to do that against Arkansas. They're going to have to do something tonight.
Yeah, I think you may be onto something when I look at that, man, and I'm just thinking, man, look at this deal and look what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Because
it's gonna be a great series. Those 2 teams, and OU's gonna be hot.
yeah, but the question is that if Ole Miss has got to be the hottest team if they haven't lost, because OU's lost twice. They lost once to Florida and lost once to Virginia
Ole
Tech.
Miss is for sure the hottest team, especially if they win tonight. Then they're 7-0 in the tournament.
The question is
You
that rest.
you got to figure if they're 7-0 that their pitching's right on line. They should be able to start their ace. And so should OU. They should be able to throw their ace on Saturday.
That's what I was saying today. If OU wins today, they're off to Saturday, so that gives us, he's throwing today. I don't know if he's got to have more now. I don't know if you might get 4 or 5 innings, 3 or 4 innings out of him if he's throwing today. That's only 3 days rest.
OU's ace sitting on the mound today. This is their 3rd pitcher.
It is?
Now they got their big lefty sitting in the wings. If they lose today, I bet they throw their ace tomorrow. But they don't look like they're going to lose today.
No, their bats have been on fire. And now we're in the top of the 5th, A&M batting. And, man, that red and white, those uniforms, bro, you don't look bad. I don't really mind those compared to those other ones. But those don't look too bad right there. I'm trying to be a fan of theirs, Drew. I'm trying to help them out.
Compared to what?
I'm gonna stop right there. I'm trying to be nice, man. I gotta be good. Okay, let's go on to the NBA, brother.
Back to the draft.
Well, no, the draft is, we're gonna talk more about it tomorrow because remember everyone, we can talk more about it today, but remember everybody, the draft is tomorrow, and so that's gonna be interesting to see what happens there, and it's tomorrow night, Thursday, June 23rd. And it's in is it in New York, isn't it? Or Detroit? Where is it? I need to go. I forget it. I saw that New York City.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Where it normally is.
Yeah. Well, it's like football. They switched it to Nashville, and then football is where now? Football is in Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. It's a good spot for it.
Right? Football's in Vegas now, isn't it?
Well, I think they change it. They change it every year, don't they?
Yeah.
That's not just a set spot.
Which
it should be. I think that'd be a good spot for it.
Yeah.
In Vegas.
Yeah, because I like the way they were going to set that up and where they did that. But anyway, so the draft's tomorrow, and then Drew, this is my thing, and I tell people this is what I was trying to tell my guys at the shop the other day. If Sam Presti wants to go back to put Oklahoma City back the way it was, his first draft pick, and I'm going to give your opinion. You and I haven't talked about this. The first draft pick by him was Kevin Durant. Now, I have a friend of mine, we had this discussion, and he said he does not give Sam Presti Kevin Durant as his first draft pick. And the reason why...
Was Sam Presti the Seattle...
Yes, he was.
Was he there?
Yes.
He was the Sonics general manager?
That was our first pick, was that year. We had the team, because we were in Seattle. And he said the reason why
I guess I didn't realize that Sam Presti was the GM of Sonics.
The Sonics, yes. Because
Didn't know that.
we were the Thunder group bought the Sonics, but they were still the Sonics.
Gotcha.
So anyway, he says he doesn't give Kevin Durant, Sam Presti doesn't give Sam Presti credit because if the Seattle SuperSonics would have won the draft, they would have taken Greg Odom instead of
Interesting.
Kevin Durant. So because
He's
they didn't
probably
win,
right.
yeah, he says so they didn't win. They got Kevin Durant as the whatever you want to call it prize, the booby prize, because you didn't get
The door
number one,
prize.
the door prize because you didn't get the overall number one pick. So he does not give Presti credit for Kevin Durant. He said he had to take Kevin Durant. There wasn't no options. Like this year, he said there's an option. Because if they take Jabari, then you have the option of who you're going to take next. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's what he's saying. So he does not give Kevin Durant. But then your second pick that year was Jeff Green, which wasn't a bad pick.
Yep. Ended up in Oklahoma City.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. And then you have Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka in 2008. So 2007, you went Kevin Durant, Jeff Green. 2008, you went Russell, Serge Ibaka. And then 2009, you had James Carter. And then you took Cole Aldridge, which that one baffles me. I hope I get to sit down and talk to him one day and go, bro, Cole Aldridge, explain that one to me. I didn't see that one when
he
you
was nasty. He was nasty at Kansas.
But he wasn't an NBA player, bro. There wasn't no way.
No.
There wasn't no way. And then he's no longer in the league. And then you draft Reggie Jackson in 2011. And, of course, he would still be with us probably if him and Russell had got along. But Russell couldn't. We found out now Russell doesn't get along with anybody. And then you had Perry Jones. He's no longer in the league. And then in 2013, you had Archie Goodwin. He's no longer in the league. And then you had Steven Adams, of course, he's still in the league. Then you had Josh Hustis, not in the league. Mitch McGary, not in the league. Then you got Cameron Payne, who's still, I guess, I never really liked him anyway. And then you had Terrence Ferguson after that, Baisley, Giddey, and, of course, Mann. That's who you had. That's who he's drafted.
Yep.
Now, of that group, he can go back because, remember, last year we did Josh Giddey, Trey Mann, Wiggins, and Robinson Earl. So that's kind of like close to what you drafted. And Robinson Earl and Wiggins are more like Jeff Green and Serge Ibaka kind of. You know what I'm saying? They're not dynamic like Kevin. They're not dynamic like Russell or James Harden. They're not dynamic like those guys. So when I look at that, I think, okay, well, you got some guys in. So this year is a chance to go back-to-back with draft picks, kind of like you did in 2007 and 08 to get Oklahoma City started. Now, it took, 2 years for us to reach the finals after all those together, right? 2 years, right?
Yep.
So, to me, when I look at that, I think that's the same type of situation for the Thunder now. You got a good draft choices. You got some good picks last year. Then you add on. And I think if you add Chet is and I'm just going to say this, he is a project. He's not a guy who's going to step in and play. You've looked at him against NBA talent. And like I tell people, it's about your system of play. If we're a half-court game, you can see, like Poku. If Poku is in a transitional offense where they're running up and down the floor, he could be really, really good, but that's not our game. We're a half-court offense because of the way SGA plays and the way Giddey plays. So you need somebody who's in a half-court set who's complementary to their style of play. Does that make sense?
Yep. Definitely.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where I see the Thunder. That's why Banchero would be a better fit in a half court. Jabari better, and I think that's why Jabari wants to come to Oklahoma City because we can get up and down the floor and do transition. But Oklahoma City is also very, very good in a half court set. And just think, nobody's, and you know this, Drew. Nobody's standing in front of SGA.
Excuse me.
Do you think? Nobody can guard him, bro. He breaks you
He's
down.
tough. He's going to get better, too.
Yeah, he's going to get better. Yeah, Kentucky boy. Okay, now, let's talk about your boy Kyrie, man. I don't get him,
that
man.
he was going to be a Laker.
Yeah, but they're not. How you going to get him, Drew? How you going to get him?
I mean, they're going to have to somehow convince Brooklyn to take Westbrook.
Well, Kevin Durant's not going to do that. Would you play with Westbrook again?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. But, I mean, are they –
But you know what, KD can play with Westbrook because KD doesn't need the ball. The problem with KD is that Westbrook down the stretch at the end of games is what kills you. he kills you at the end of games, which is what you're talking about in baseball right now. What are you going to do when the game is tight? What's going to happen then? So Westbrook, as we know, he's not a very bright player, and at the end of games, he's not going to be able to perform for you. He's just not, Drew. It's not going to happen, bro.
He's not one that you look to shoot the last shot for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to make the smart basketball play at the end of the game.
No, he's just not.
But he might be the most athletic player in the NBA.
Yeah, he was. I don't know if he still is or not, but
Yeah, I'd say Morant's probably that guy.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's going to be interesting to see. But Kyrie, this is the deal with him. The question is, if he opts in for his $36 million, Drew, this year, he's going to want. Brooklyn's clearly said, we're not giving you 5 years, 240.
But if you're Brooklyn, do you entertain a straight across the board trade for Westbrook?
Well, the problem is KD's got to okay that, and I don't think he's going to do that, Drew.
Right.
I mean, do you really think that I wouldn't do that? There's no way.
But I mean, it depends on how unhappy they are with him. He did. What, he only played like 40 games last year?
Well,
41 games, something like that.
He's played in 103 out of 246.
Yeah. So and Westbrook damn near plays every night.
And this is the funny part. Your boy from oh God, what's our big boy's name for Golden State? My mind just went slip. The big guy they got to play for Golden State, the center.
Looney.
Looney. He played in 104 games this year. He's been there 3 years. He's played in 103 out of 246 and only 13. And remember, he missed 7 games in 11 days. Remember, he didn't want to play because he had personal problems. The team couldn't find him. He disappeared. Didn't answer his phone, and I had personal. Well, okay, you can't pick up the phone.
Yeah.
So
well, to me, it would just be typical Lakers to get him out there.
Yeah.
Just another chaos-filled.
But
LeBron,
you know what though?
James.
But you know what though? He may. It's L.A. and it's LeBron. He might be completely different. You know what I'm saying? But
He might be.
But my deal is this, Drew. If you give him a straight up $50 million a year with no any kind of, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, I'm not doing that. I wouldn't give him more than 2 years and say, okay, you got to prove that you can do this. That's the way I look at it. You got to prove that you can stand up. Okay, OU is man, they got a wild pitch, 1 out, guy on second. Wow. Anyway, but to me, Kyrie, you got to prove that you're going to be dependable. And I just think it's just like he said, basketball is not the most important thing in his life, but you want to be paid like it is. Mm-hmm. I'm not giving you $50 million if you're not going to tell me that basketball is the most important thing in your life. I'm not doing it.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
Well, Lakers are going to have to do something. They don't have a pick in the first round.
Yep.
Do they even have a pick in the second round?
Yes, they have a pick in the second round, but they got. Remember now, there's also they're looking at trying to trade for John Wall, and I'm like, John Wall is getting ready to get $49 million this year, and he hadn't played in 2 years. Mm-hmm. He hadn't played in 2 years. But we're going to come back and talk about that. Let's take a break real quick. We're going to talk about one of our sponsors, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912.
The bank that makes things happen.
Yes, you can go pre-qualify online for our guys over there at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com if you want to qualify for any loans.
Stop in and say hi to Carolyn.
Stop in and say hi to Carolyn. She's up on, well, I don't know where she's at, but I'm not going to tell them I do know where she's at.
Can't tell where she's at.
I know where she's at. I'm not going to say where she's at, though. But, yeah, you can stop by and say hi to Carolyn or Randy. They're right next door to each other. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. I'm not true. But anyway, I want to thank those guys for sponsoring our remote locations when we go out to black and minority-owned businesses. And so anyway, we want to thank them for their support. Okay, now back to the thing, Drew. John Wall. I mean, he hadn't played. He's athletic, but he hadn't played, Drew. I mean, Lakers are just, there's really nothing for them to do. And this is my problem with LeBron. And you and I have talked about this. Why do you want to leave?
He built that team.
And he wants to leave.
Like he wants to leave. Well, of course he does, because they didn't make the playoffs. And they're stuck with the team they got, and he's not happy about it. So
Well,
he's going to bail.
but
That doesn't surprise me.
that just goes to show you, stay out of the GM business.
Yep.
Don't Clutch Sports doesn't need to run the NBA like him wanting to run an NBA team. I mean, yeah, that's a great idea to be in Vegas, and I think there is going to be a team in Vegas. Whether that's going to be your team or not stands up to be determined. But I'm sure he'll be the majority owner in the team. But
there's going to be some folks with a lot more money in Vegas that are going to want that team out there than what
yeah,
he's got.
yeah. But he's thinking because Jordan has a team, he's going to have a team because D Wade owns part of a team.
Again, he's not Michael Jordan.
For the umpteenth time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he keeps doing that to himself, but I mean, maybe he is a better general manager than Jordan. It wouldn't take that much. I mean,
no, Jordan is a horrible.
How many times have the Hornets made the playoffs since Jordan was?
They've made it 3. They've been there 3 times in 18 years.
3 times. Yep.
No playoff wins.
Yeah,
no
that's amazing too, because that's a great basketball market.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, Charlotte, that little triangle right there.
But Drew, his draft decisions are terrible. Remember he drafted Adam Morrison from Gonzaga. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Once
Can't
again,
draft a guy that cries in the middle of the floor.
Oh my God, believable to me, it's like Gonzaga. Those are great little players. It's just like, remember they drafted Jalen Suggs. Cole Anthony came in there, and Cole Anthony's the man, not Suggs. Am I wrong?
Nope, you're not.
So that's what I'm kind of saying is that Gonzaga is a great fit for college. Those players fit the scheme and the way that the coaches, one of the winning coaches in college basketball, they play in a weak conference. Yes, it's easy. But at the same time, when you look at those players, the way they play in the NBA, no, it doesn't translate. It just doesn't. And, Randy sent us this thing, and I can't look it up because I'm on camera. He says the players that the Thunder must avoid. Chet's name better be in there, but of course it's not. Do you see your boy Jay Billis was, talking about bragging on Chet? I'm like, Jay, you need to shut up. You're not a drafter now. You're a very good basketball color guy, but shut up about who is good in the draft because how many Dookies are in the top 75? That would be a donut. That would be a donut. And that just goes to show you that just because you're great in college. Now, Drew, let's be honest. If Grant Hill hadn't got hurt, he'd have been a top 75.
Probably.
No, Drew, give that man some props. He would have been in the top 75.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know he's a dookie to you. I know that, but that dude, man, there before he hurt himself, he was unbelievable.
So this thing's the number one player the Thunder need to avoid drafting is Paolo Banchero.
Yep, everybody's down on him for some reason, Drew. There's something going on with Paolo.
Doesn't offer much. He doesn't play defense and could profile as a power forward or center. Regardless, he may struggle to defend NBA big men.
Okay.
It says about Banchero. Bust potential. He believes that he has bust potential in him. That wouldn't surprise me that he's a dookie. So
that guy who wrote it, is he a dookie? That guy's smart enough. But you know what, though? I agree with you, man. Carroll fits what we do. Jabari fits it the best. But the question is, how does Orlando not draft him, even though he's saying that he doesn't want to go there? How do you draft him?
Now, is this just a story, or is this a...
No, it was... they're just getting ready to score again, Drew. On one of, what do you call it, one of those eyeball looks or whatever it's called when it gets a look? OU is now...
Seeing ground ball, what they call it?
Yeah, seeing it up. So OU is up now 5-0 with runners on first and second, 1 out in the bottom of the fifth. And we thought A&M would give them a better run. Remember, Drew, you and I both thought that they would give them a better deal that first game around, and OU is just basically
the 3-run home run in the first inning, and other than that, A&M.
Well, he hung a curveball.
Yeah.
Don't hang a curveball, but
the same thing happened to them last time they played.
Yeah.
They hit a 2-run home run in the first inning against them. Same guy.
Well, there's a fly out. Okay, so now, how about our boy Bradley Beal? I love Bradley Beal.
I do
Okay,
too.
true. You know what he said?
I
He
mean,
goes, I know where I'm going. He goes, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just not telling anybody. I'm not telling y'all, is what he said.
probably going to Boston.
I think he's going to go to Miami.
Really?
Yeah. Playing with Jimmy Butler? Yeah. I mean, I would. But why go to, I mean, if he
He
goes
was
to
basically
Boston, because
sitting
remember
on the
Boston,
bench. He was basically sitting on the bench in Boston
well, yeah, I
in
know
the
he will.
playoffs.
I know, but if you're going to Boston, you still don't have, Boston still don't have a point guard. But I guess they can go
That's
get
true.
Brunson. Then
They
if the
could.
question, if you go to get Brunson, then you, I mean, what are you going to do then? I mean, are you going to say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make Jason Tatum our 3. We're going to make Brown our 4. You're going to be
Well,
our 2.
That's a small lineup.
And then you
with
have
Brown
Bradley
at the
Beal at
4.
2 and Marcus Smart at 1. That doesn't work.
No,
I mean, does it?
I don't think it does. It makes you awful small.
Yeah, and then you got Robert Williams, or do you put Bradley Beal at point, and then you go Bradley Beal at point with Jalen and Jason, and then you can have the Williams boys down low. So you can always do that, can't you?
Good, yeah.
And if Randy keeps sending me these texts about Chet, he's just, why does he like, Randy, why do you want to irritate me? Why do you do this? You know that I'm on camera. You know that we're doing this live stream. And you're doing stuff to irritate me. I'm just glad you're there. You're not here at Ned's. And why aren't you at Ned's? Well, actually, I'm glad he's not at Ned's, Drew, because he would be behind me doing who knows what. You know how crazy he can be sometimes. So, but anyway, I like the Bradley Beal. But this is the deal, Drew. If he goes anywhere else, he signs for 4 years, 182. If he stays there, he gets 5 years, 245. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of
a
money,
lot.
man.
I think he's tired. He's tired of losing.
Yeah, but Drew, that's 60 mil, bro. That's a lot of money. Now, why wouldn't, to me, if I was Bradley, I would just do a sign and trade. Look, I want to be done somewhere. Let me sign with you guys, and let me just trade me. Let me do a sign and trade. That way I get my max money and be traded. Let's do a sign and trade. That way I get my max money. You know what I mean? But he already says he knows he's going, but I think he's going to go to Miami. Now, I would love him to go to L.A. Him, LeBron, and him with AD, oh, my goodness. That would make us relevant right away, Drew.
I just want to know how much longer do we got to deal with LeBron in LA? Is he
2
gonna
more
retire
years.
there? You think?
2 more years. Well, because his son is going to be there. God, I thought they got another one. But, you know, the question is, with his son coming up in, 2 years, 3 years? I guess, what is he?
But do you think that Bronny is going to be an NBA player? I mean,
They're going to take him. They're going to take him simply because I think he's going to go to the G League and not college. If he goes to college, he'll get exposed.
Yeah, I mean,
Goes
I've
to
watched
college, he'll get exposed.
a couple of these high school games, and he's not even the best player on his team.
No, not on his AAU team, his Nike team. No, he's not. On his LeBron team, yeah, no, he's not.
He's
No,
the
he's not.
third or fourth best player on that team.
But
not even
he
second
is.
best.
But he is LeBron's son. LeBron is lobbying for it, and he will go after his rookie year. And
What
somebody
is he,
will.
6'4", 6'5"?
3, 6'4", 6'3", something like that. But the problem is, Drew, somebody's gonna take him. You know they're gonna draft him in the second round, or pick if he gets in the draft, they can just free agent him.
I mean, Michael Jordan had kids too, and they weren't that.
They weren't that good. But I think LeBron's son was better younger than he is older. He's one of those kids that started out. You know, a lot of kids they're tremendous in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, and all of a sudden they get to high school, everybody else catches up to them.
Yep.
And I'm thinking that's what's happening to Bronny, that he is not necessarily the prospect that he was at a younger age. It's what it seems to me right now. So, but all I know is that
LeBron's going to push it.
yeah, LeBron has already pushed it. And you know what? What team is not going to, I mean, just think the ticket sales that you're going to get because LeBron and his son are there. That's why I think that he'll want to stay in L.A., or that's why he wants to go to Golden State, because San Francisco is what?
Then L.A. takes Bronny, then we just ruin for another 4 years.
Yeah, but you know what? But the whole thing is he's only going to play for maybe 1 year. LeBron is done, man. He's done.
I think so too.
He's done. He's still dominant, but he can't play the amount of minutes that they were playing him. That's just too much on his body. He's going to break down. And, once you
He
start
doesn't
getting
play
hurt.
defense.
Yep.
He doesn't play defense, and he doesn't rebound anymore.
That's why I can't give him the greatest ever. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Plus, I'm not afraid. Nobody's afraid of him. You know what I mean? Nobody don't fear LeBron. They don't fear him at all.
I mean, he's Olay defense. He doesn't rebound. I mean, He basically resorted to bully ball and shooting a fadeaway three.
Yep. I agree
But he can play
100%.
bully ball because he's 6'9", 265 pounds, and plays point guard. So
I agree with that 100%. Now, if you want to go, if you've missed our shows or you didn't get a chance to watch them, remember you can go to www.mcsportsnetwork.com and you can view any of our shows. You just click on the link, you go there, and then you hit whether you want to watch the Unpopular Hour, the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday, or if you want to do After the Storm, which is our Thunder analysis, you can go do that. And remember, all of our shows, the Unpopular Hour, Women Only Wednesday, After the Storm, and the Unpopular Hour are all weekdays at 2 o'clock. And also, if you want to go see my boy Drew Henthorn and hear his picks again, and you go check his stuff out at HuskerDrewPicks.com. Of course, he's taking the Braves, so he thinks that's going to be a W. The Stros, that's a W.
Are up 5 to, let's give you a little update.
Yep, give us an update. Give us an update.
So the Stros are up 5-1, bottom of the 5th.
Oh, home run. Texas A&M.
Watch out. We got a comeback. Come on, Aggies.
You're a mess.
Stros are up 5-1, bottom of the 5th.
Okay, so that's one W. Phillies, Rangers.
I'm probably going to lose A&M here.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to come back.
Yeah, then you got Arkansas plus 110.
I love
Isn't that interesting that them and A&M both were plus 110 on the money line? Isn't that crazy?
I just don't see how you're favoring Ole Miss in that game tonight. I mean, that's going to be an Arkansas home game in there tonight. But we'll see. We shall see. That's why they play them, right?
Yeah, and Ole Miss, they travel really well in football. They may travel well in baseball.
They travel well here too. You'll have to check it out. They've got this. So there's a restaurant right down by the stadium. It's called Rocco's Pizza, and they've had a Jello shot challenge. And the Ole Miss fans have bought 3,400 Jello shots.
What?
3,400.
34.
The next closest is Arkansas at like 700.
3,400
Jello shots since the College World Series began. So I'm sure they're going to mention that tonight. You'll have to Google it. Boy, is that back to back?
No, but Drew, 3,400.
Yeah. So I guess some Arkansas alum came in the other day and bought like 250 Jello shots at the bar.
Just to try
to get them back in the mix. It's a pretty cool place. You'd like it. It's right out by the stadium. Rocco's Pizza.
Yeah, I never did a chance to come to Omaha, but we may have to make a road trip.
This weekend.
Bro, not. I got to work.
Ride with all the OU fans.
I got to work, man. Why would I come now, man? If OSU was there, I would do it, but I'm not coming. I'm not driving
to
Omaha.
Makes the final on Monday. You jump in the car. We'll go. We'll do a remote from the stadium.
Well, I tell you what. Since Randy Wright is running his mouth, I'll roll. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Randy's probably got a red shirt somewhere. I guarantee you look at my closet. There's nothing maroon in my closet.
I've got a red. The only red shirt I have is my USA jersey, my USA shirt, which you saw, supporting USA soccer. That's the only thing red I got.
I've gotten so bad I can't even wear a Nebraska red. Now all my Nebraska shirts are black. So.
Well, that's kind of hard.
Nebraska red anymore.
Well, that's because that's kind of hard to wear that color too, bro. That's what I say about that. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough. So just go black.
Let's go black. Oh man. Now you coming on tomorrow for the pre-show for the draft?
I'm gonna do a little research tonight, get my picks down. We'll do maybe like our maybe we do each of ours top 10 picks the way we think they're gonna go. Now,
because I don't know if people remember, but the Thunder, their draft options are that was the draft options. We're gonna go their draft picks.
32.
No, we have the number 2 pick, the number 12 pick, and the number 34. Because remember, we traded our 30th pick to Denver for Jermichael Green. Remember?
4, 12, and 32.
We have 2, 12, and 34.
2, 12, and 34.
34, yes.
2,
and
12,
then
34.
What we get is Denver, they get our 30th first-round pick, which whatever, and then 2 future second-round picks. And then we get their 2027 first-round pick. down the
I
road.
think, doesn't Oklahoma City have 3 first-rounders next year?
I think we have 5, Drew.
Yeah.
It's something
So they'll
stupid.
be all right.
Yeah, it's something
I mean,
stupid.
if you think this year's draft is big for Oklahoma City, next year's draft is huge.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying is that the draft that we had last year in 2021, if you draft right this year, you come back, because, I mean, you look at Golden State. Look at what they got hanging in the wings. Oh, my God.
Boy, is Jordan Poole going to be there? You see that article?
Yeah, they're gonna. You know, I saw where they offered him the draft pick. Who was it? The Kings offered him their 4th pick for Jordan Poole. That would be tough to turn down, man.
Boy, if you could get a Banchero in Golden State, wow.
Yeah, but Drew, they're stuck. What are they gonna do with Moody and Wiseman and what they got now? They're loaded. They're loaded. They're set, dude. Wiseman is a 7-foot guy who's
I think
athletic.
Banchero eventually is going to be a point forward in the league. I
Yeah.
think he's going to bring the ball up the floor.
I think he has the opportunity to do that.
Yeah,
but
he's going to have a chance. If he can get his handles down a little bit, he's going to have a chance to be able to bring the ball up the
I
floor.
think Golden State is doing what Oklahoma could have done. When you had Russell, you had Kevin, and you had Harden, you had that group, and then when Harden left, you still had Ibaka, and then you went 8 years and didn't get anything. If you drafted well the way Golden State is drafting well, then you could have built the necklace so whenever Kevin Durant left and Russell left, boom, you still had all that coming in.
Yep.
And remember, we didn't we take Houston to 7 games with Chris Paul in the bubble.
I tell you, that last 3 or 4 years, they've really fallen off on their draft stats.
Yes,
I mean,
it's bad.
You've gone over to ad nauseum.
Yeah.
But I mean, their drafts for the last 3 or 4 years have been terrible.
8 years up until last year.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8
Well,
years.
with SGA excluded and Giddy.
No, remember we got SGA in the trade for Paul George.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, we got SGA in the trade for
that
Paul
doesn't
George.
count.
He was their number 1 pick from Kentucky. He was the Clippers' number 1 pick from Kentucky, and so we got SGA. And he was rising when he was at the Clippers, but they wanted Paul George because
big strike.
because Kawhi wanted Paul George, so that was the end of that. But when I look at it, Drew, man, I'm telling you, and I agree, man, this draft, dude, it's important. And you got this draft and next year's draft, dude. You can really build something really strong because you have a good nucleus, and that's why Jabari is picking Oklahoma, the Thunder, over Utah.
Yeah, you can see the future too.
See
They
the
got 5
future.
picks next year.
Oh my God, dude! The Thunder have the opportunity because next year you can trade a couple of those and go get you a veteran to come with you to bring with the kids. But do you really want a veteran in there? You know what I'm saying?
The right guy, the right one.
The right one. But it's like with the Golden
Klay
State.
Thompson.
Like Golden State, what are they gonna do? You got to pay Wiggins, man. You got to pay him. But do you know, Drew, they paid $340 million this year for this team. And if they can bring Wiggins back and what they got, they're going to have to pay $500 million next year.
Who is going to be the odd man out there? I still think it's going to be Thompson, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I think his trade status and his stock is as high as it's going to ever get right now.
Yep. And you got to keep Wiggins because he's a younger version. He's only 27.
And he's cheap, and he's going to be cheaper than Thompson.
No, they got to pay him, man. He right now is at 36, I believe, is what they have to pay him now. What he's getting paid right now.
Wiggins.
Yeah.
And what was Thompson?
Thompson's 42-ish.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you got to pay Wiggins, and you said trade control. But the problem is, where do you trade Clay? Do you
Wiggins
break
could
that?
have very easily been the MVP. If you take away. Take Steph Curry out of that mix with his 45 or what do you have that one game?
Yeah,
Wiggins could have very easily been the MVP.
Game four, he saved the Warriors.
Yep.
I mean, there's no question. He saved the Warriors in Game 4. Talking about, of course, Steph. He saved them. There's no doubt.
Hey, and they have just been acting the fool. I mean,
hey, but Drew.
Did you see Klay Thompson with his bottle of Hennessy?
Oh man, what? I'm like. It's Henny time.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
Hey,
get
well,
after it.
hey, I don't mean this bad, but white America has no idea what the hell that means. They had
A
no
little
idea what
Alizé
that
and
means.
Henny.
Huh?
Little Alizé.
Yeah, they had no idea what that means, man. No idea. It was funny to me though. I don't know whose worse
Oh,
is
yeah.
him or Shannon Sharp when he puts his ball of Henny on the stage on the
Oh,
field.
yeah.
I'm like,
Good stuff.
boy, you wild, you're wild. All right, bro. Well, hey, get your
All right,
research
man.
down. We're gonna do some, and I'm gonna see
Yep.
you tomorrow.
All right, man. Have a good rest of your
All right,
day. Be
appreciate you,
safe.
brother.
Appreciate you. Yep.
That was my boy Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. And let's go over what he did. He's taking the Braves tonight. He's already won the Stros game. He's winning that. Phillies, Rangers over 8. Arkansas, he's picking them tonight, and he thinks they will get Ole Miss. And of course, A&M is a loser right now, losing to OU 5-1 in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. So that's going to be interesting to do that. And of course, he's taking the Lightning tonight to beat the Avalanche. But I want to take this opportunity to thank my sponsors. If you have any IT solutions or needs, talk to my people at Collaborative Logic. My boy Mark Long over at SRB for any engineering, surveying, or planning. Jose Fierro and his dump trucks, because he's got 3 of them now at Oak Grove Trucking. And of course, my guys Greg and Max Nafee over at Nafco. So, but anyway, I want to thank my boy Ned Starlight at Ned Starlight Lounge for allowing us to come do the women only Wednesday broadcast for the Unpopular Hour. He's closed on Mondays, but Tuesdays and Wednesdays he's open from 11 to 12. Thursdays and Fridays he's open from 11 to 2, and Saturdays he's open from 10:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. So you can come get some of that great breakfast, and then of course his Sunday brunch on Saturdays and Sundays is brunch. But man, his brunch is fantastic. And if you haven't seen it or haven't been here to eat, it is a fantastic, delicious way to go. And I firmly recommend you doing that. And like I said, I just absolutely love it. And then, of course, the MC Network. If you missed the shows, if you want to watch any back shows, you can go to www.mcsportsnetwork.com. That's www.mcsportsnetwork.com if you want to go and look at any of our previous shows. But like I said, I want to thank Ned. And I see my boy Johnson's back there with that ugly red hat on. Your Sooners. Go Sooners. Yeah, okay. At least he didn't do that. Boomer. I didn't have. Oh, why did I even do that to myself? Why did I do that to myself? But anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching the show. And everybody be safe out there.